Hello again. I think it's now my third attempt to do this. My first attempt I accidentally deleted, and then now my second attempt um, kinda didn't work because I got asked for some coins, and the way the guy asked was a bit irritating. Like he asked like, "Did I already hit you?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Um, but what he actually went like, "Did I already ask you?" Um, and he was for some time on the streets. I don't like to really give people money when I have the impression they consume drugs or they smoke. Um, it's it's a point that can be discussed because there are pro and contra arguments against this. But I ended up giving something. Um, really, each time this happens, I feel a bit like odd because I kind of know where this money goes to, but I also know that not giving something doesn't really help. Hello. It looks really nice on the other side with the lights today. I'm not a huge fan of walking through the park during evenings, especially I think, yeah, like a few months ago, a girl after a party got followed home and got raped, and I think it happened also in this environment of this park, like where the guy started following her, and yeah, so really. Something you're not really aware of, but it's actually happening pretty often. And when I discussed with friends, they were all like, "Yeah, don't think about it, just live your life because it's happening." I actually wanted to talk about defense and all these things, but I'm so insecure about talking when people pass by that I kind of don't manage to do it. It just looks really pretty. Yes. Um, and now people are passing by. Also pretty, but I think the other side just looks slightly better. Really need to get this done, like talking regardless if people are passing by or not, because at the end they just hear me like for a few seconds, but I think it's so odd to talk and to film what I'm thinking and all these, and I'm not sure how much of what I'm saying they're getting, so it makes me slightly insecure. But I actually wanted today to talk about defense and how overhyped defenses are. Um, because I have kind of the impression that yes, you do you do a lot and you try to get to that point, but the defense is just a fraction of the duration of the whole process. And this is something I think I know now because um, receiving the diploma was only a fraction of time, considering that you are studying for 6 years and then getting a diploma in your hands, and at the end only the last final exams really matter. So, and we got this feeling, and really at this stage at your defense, I feel like it certainly does matter if you did a good job or not a good job, but it's not the key point. It's just about finishing, giving your last smile, being polite, and being just representable, and showing that you can represent a scientific topic regardless of what it is what you worked on, and selling your thesis basically. And what really matters is all the way till you are at your thesis and gain all these additional experiences, etc., etc. And I didn't think like this a few years ago. I thought like the end point really matters a lot, but it's actually not the thing. But I think this is also something I was discussing with a friend. Like, we are there's an age gap between different people. Some are younger, some are a bit older, and the thing is, you can clearly see in the people who are a bit younger that, I don't want to say they lack something, but they just haven't made these experiences or the thought process. I mean, if you would have asked me a few years ago, I would have been like a bit more idealistic, and I would say, yeah, it only matters like what you present at the end, how much you were able to produce, and which quality it would have had, and all these things. I still do believe that's the right path, but I have more acceptance for a diverse path, or a diverse way of achieving something. It doesn't, and I realized that no, actually, it would have been an ideal world where everyone is like really hardworking, really trying to make the best, etc., etc. But that's just not the key. That's just not what it is, and it will never be like this. So it's really like, how do you work in your environment without getting frustrated, without like feeling trapped, and all these things. And this is kind of what I'm myself trying to figure out, because I don't believe that there is a perfect environment. I believe that there are good environments, more maybe environments that are more encouraging to learn, or environments that are more supportive, all these things. But one thing that I think once you don't have something anymore, you realize what it actually meant. And this is when I was in med school. It was not really the time where I loved everything, etc. But I created an environment that I loved. Like, I was part of so many associations. I enjoyed being one day there, the other day there, and just getting to know new people, presenting myself, talking to politicians, all these things. And now it took me a moment that the environment was just not like this. I was just basically responsible myself to create this environment that I enjoyed being in. Of course, I hated the studying part. Well, I hated it a bit too much maybe, but I disliked it. But in between those studying parts, I just created a place that was nice to be, enjoyable, and that's it, I think. If today is not good, it's not because the environment only sucks, it's also because I'm not able to find the key things that might make my day shine bright. I know this sounds all really cringy and positive, it's not really my mindset also, but I try to get there, because I think I have already a bit of like this idealism problem, and I will always have it, and I'm honestly proud of it. Maybe I'm just trying to fool myself, but yeah. So I just hope that I can empower my environment, or encourage my environment to become more like me, or to have some ideals, etc., rather than me switching to their side. But at the same time, I don't want to force anyone. I just want to grab the people who are willingly to. And I know that there are people who would like to, who are willing to have more their ideal dimensions, in the sense of the work how it should be done, or friendships how they should be treated, all these things. and it's more about finding these people and making them clear they are not the only people thinking that way. I think you cannot see it, but it's actually a really pretty school. I think it's a primary school. Yeah, actually really pretty, but it's too dark. Trying to focus in the hope that it... No. Oh wow, I think I zoomed in? No. Oh shit. Yeah, no. And yes, so, and for me now, the key point of today is because I recognize that there were certain things people were telling me already in advance, but I was kind of refusing them because I was believing, yeah, no, things should be done this way, and I believe I can convince people, but it's very difficult to convince people because everyone has their own mindset. So I just need to look up, see the people I like, see what kind of lifestyles they have, not copy them, but observe what type of ideals they have, what is their like, how much deviation they allow themselves, and why they allow it, and how they treat their environment, and how the environment treats them, and better get to understand this, and try to be a few steps further. I think this will help me in the end, and it will take a lot of commitment and convincing yourself, and maybe also a lot of fooling yourself, which I'm currently doing. But I believe at the end, in some way, it just must be worth. And with this, I would like to end the small chat and wish everyone a good evening.